Welcome to the Planning Commission. I'd like to call this meeting to order on September 8th, 2020. If I could have everyone stand for the flag salute. Do you have a flag here? So we have something to direct our vision to. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, going on to roll call. Stephanie, if we could have the vote roll call, or just the roll call.
Commissioner Guerrero.
Present.
Commissioner Lopez. Commissioner Lopez.
She's here.
Can't hear anyone.
Uh-oh.
Did you
Okay.
call me, Stephanie?
Yes.
Alice is here.
Okay, we'll mark her here. Chair
Having a problem
Sanchez.
with the audio, it stops, then I can't like every other word. But here, I'm present.
Okay. Vice Chair Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Wolbert. We'll wait
Is
for
he
him.
here? I saw that he was on the screen earlier.
He just needs to unmute himself.
Don't be bashful.
Okay, I unmuted.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, thank you.
Host has disabled me.
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Chang.
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Jaramillo.
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Quill and Liang are not present. We have quorum.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yes, Albert.
Stephanie, did I hear Commissioner Wolbert say that his camera's disabled, or else are we able to get him on camera? I think last time maybe you sent him a request for the camera to be on.
Yes, I can. Commissioner Wolbert, I'm sending you a request to start your video to see if that helps.
No, it hasn't. Golly, this never had
My glasses on.
a problem with this before.
You're on.
Yeah, I'm on completely.
Start my video. Click that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now let's go share screen. Shall I do that?
No, we need to see your video. So you need to start your video. It should be in the bottom
Okay.
left-hand corner.
There you go.
Of the
Start my
screen.
video.
There we go.
There he is.
Hey, all right.
Okay.
Walk away. I love it.
All right. So we are going to continue. We are just going to go over some house rules. If someone is speaking, if you can mute yourself, that way everyone can hear for the tape record. Also, if you do need to excuse yourself, if you can just raise your hand, then we will call on you, and that way we can maintain some order. We'll first listen to the staff report. After that, public hearing will be open. We'll hear public comments. We'll hear from the applicants, and then I will go order from ward to ward to hear comments from the commissioners. And then we'll do a second round with just raising your hand if you have additional comments to any of them. Does anyone need to excuse themselves from a certain item on the agenda today? I see no hands, so I think we're all set and ready to start. We will also do a vote roll call. Is there, let's see, for the consent agenda, what do we have?
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. On the consent agenda, we have item number 1, which is the approval of the minutes for our last meeting of August 18th. They are complete as submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver.
You're welcome.
So I will open public comment for the draft minutes, if anyone has any comments for that. If not, I will close public comment and I will entertain a motion to.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read into the record.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. If we could have a vote roll call, Stephanie?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Guerrero,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Lopez,
Just wave, probably.
she may still be having audio difficulties. Commissioner Lopez,
Wave if okay, maybe. Can she do an up or down?
I don't think that she can hear us is the problem.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. After the vote, we may have to pause to fix that.
okay.
So she
Or
can
we still may have a majority for the vote anyway,
We
right?
do, yes. Chair Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Wolbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Chang,
Yes.
Commissioner Jaramillo.
Yes.
Okay, the vote is unanimous.
All right. At this point, we'll take a few moments. That way we can reconnect with one of our commissioners, and we'll be right back. To public hearing items. The Planning Commission will first hear a report from staff, and then the public hearing will be opened. The applicant will have an opportunity to speak. Next, members of the public will be allowed to speak. After all have spoken, the applicant will be allowed to respond. The public hearing will then be closed, and the Planning Commission will begin deliberations and make a decision. All actions except general plan amendments and amendments to the Municipal Development Code are final actions unless an appeal is filed and a fee paid within 15 days to the Community Development Department. If you challenge the resultant actions of the Planning Commission in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at the public hearing described in this agenda, or in written correspondence delivered to the Community Development Department at or prior to the public hearing. Going on to condition item number 2.
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. Item number 2 involves conditional use permit 20-06 and variance 2002. Is for the property located at the northwest corner of East Highland Avenue and North Valencia. We are requesting that this item be continued to the next meeting of September the 22nd. We've been in communication with the applicant, and there's a couple of items that we want to address, and he also wants to include a sign program as part of the application, and so we needed to include that as part of our notification and on the agenda. So we are requesting with the applicant's concurrence to continue this item to September the 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. At this time, I will open public hearing for this item. I believe we do have some comments.
We have one written public comment for this one, so let me go ahead and get that prepared for you. Okay, so this public comment comes to us from Wayne Armstrong, attorney, and it states Planning Commission. In addition to the comments contained in my letter of August 12th, 2020, the above referenced conditional use permit and variance should not be approved for the following reasons. Requesting a reduction in the required landscape front setback from 10 feet to 3 feet is merely requested in order to allow for the necessary truck movement on site pursuant to Section 3. Findings for variance 2002, finding of fact, meaning the property itself is not large enough to accommodate the fuel tankers necessary to resupply the in-ground fuel tanks. For this reason alone, the proposed reduction to the required landscape setback constitutes a special privilege consistent with the limitations upon other properties in the vicinity and zone in which each property is located, and is to the general plan. The property itself is simply too small for the contemplated development. The ABC Type 20 off-sale beer and wine license that the applicant desires is under a moratorium and cannot be issued per ABC restrictions and B&P Code Section 23817.5. ABC may deny any retail license located within the mandatory vicinity of churches and hospitals, within at least 600 feet of schools, public playgrounds, and nonprofit youth facilities. ABC will not license a new retail location within 100 feet of a residence unless the applicant can establish that the operation of the proposed premises will not interfere with the quiet enjoyment of the property by residents per PMB Code, Section 23789 and Rule 61.4. The homeless and vagrant population already in the area, and especially at Paris Hill Park, will not increase with another source of alcohol available, will bring more homeless from the park and calls for service as referenced in the police report. The city estimates the project will take 2 years to design and construct, and Wright's fair share payments to the city will be due, plus many other fees. The intersection will be a mess for a minimum of 2 years. The immediate area residents and business will be subject to loss of most utility services as well as traffic controls in place throughout said 2 years, as water and electric will need to be interrupted for installation, including but not limited to traffic signals, tearing out and replacing curb, gutters, sidewalks, etc. The site being almost directly across the street from St. Bernardine's Hospital will surely impact emergency vehicles that must use the intersection of Highland and Valencia to get to the emergency room at St. Bernardine's Hospital. A high volume of ambulances, fire engines, and police vehicles are currently and consistently traversing through the intersection of Highland and Valencia at a high rate of speed on a daily basis. The design of the project will ensure that the project will create significant noise, traffic, and dangerous conditions for other conditions that will be detrimental and or objectionable to other uses in the vicinity or adverse to public health, neighbor safety, convenience, and welfare of the city. Traffic scoping report by a traffic engineer to determine if the existing traffic devices adequately addresses the proposed facilities, which includes current and future vehicle count, is required. In order to perform such a report, a traffic engineer needs to locate a similar facility built out similar to the Vone site plan proposed on a major street like Highland Avenue. Any traffic engineer would start recommending left turn lanes with signals from all 4 directions to be installed, and the government does not pay for any of that. The applicant does. We've reached the 3 minutes on this public speaking item, so I will stop there.
Thank you, Stephanie. Do any of the commissioners have any comments on this? If not, I will close. Oh, yes, Commissioner Wilbert.
Yes, I am familiar with that intersection. Number one, there is already a stoplight there, so that really doesn't not a problem. What we've got there is an existing gas station or a muffler shop recently. An existing Circle K, I think it is, by the cantilevered architecture. That was a convenience store originally there. And there was the China Buffet, which is a restaurant. So in essence, we're replacing existing with modern facilities of the same conditions or same type of use. And if you go by there at any point in time, especially late in the day, this whole area is a hangout for the homeless up against the walls where the apartments are and houses are. I don't think that is good. So that would clean up that corner quite well. There is, I think I don't know if it's actually going to be a Starbucks or not. It's been said it would. A tremendous use for that. we don't see the parking yet, so I can't comment on that.
If I may, Commissioner, our recommendation is for a continuance. So at the next meeting on the 22nd, we will give you a full report with all the details. If you have any questions from there as well.
All right, I'll hold it then until next meeting.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to continue agenda item number 2.
Oh, first, I'll close public hearing and then I'll entertain a motion to continue this on to the next meeting where we'll have a full staff report and all of us can comment more fully on the subject. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue agenda item number 2 to the next scheduled meeting.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion. I have a second. If we could have a vote roll call.
Commissioner Guerrero?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Chair Sanchez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wolbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Chang?
Yes.
Commissioner Jaramillo?
Yes.
The item is continued.
Going on to item number 3. If we could have a staff report, please.
Yes, Commissioners. Item number 3 is conditional use permit 20-12, public convenience or necessity letter 20-02, and subdivision 2004 for tentative parcel map 20216. This is for the property located on the north side of West 5th Street between North G and North 8th Street. Following the publishing of the notification for this, we did speak with the applicant. They too want to include their sign program as part of this application. As an update, you may recall that a couple of months ago, the city did adopt a new signage ordinance. And so now that folks have their hands around what the requirements are, and they anxious to get their sign programs, now they want to include them in now that they've kind of ironed out what they're looking to do. So they would also like to include a sign program as part of their application. So we're asking that this item be we're not continuing to a date specific. We'll continue the item and we will send new notifications once we have a hearing date for it. But it may be for the 22nd, but we want to hold that date open still. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. I'll open public hearing for this item, as we do, I believe, have public comments on this item.
We do. Thank you, Chair. Let me go ahead and get that queued up. We do have one written comment and one voicemail. I'll start with the written comment. This one comes to us from Harry Sidhu, and it states, regarding conditional use permit 2012, I am strongly opposing above mentioned project based on the following. There are many gas stations and market stores within 1 mile radius to support existing residents in the area. There is no need for additional gas station or market store. It will affect very badly to existing businesses in nearby area. City of San Bernardino already has very high crime rate, and why is the city supporting additional store with alcohol beverage control type 20? It will bring more crime to the city. Traffic on 5th Street is already at worst level, and above project will make it worse traffic. Did city traffic engineer review traffic study before supporting this project? Why is the project considered categorically exempt? There will be definite environmental effects, noise, traffic, air, adjacent existing businesses, and maybe more. We would like to see all environmental studies. Also, please let me know how I will be able to attend Planning Commission meeting. They're viewing it online. So that is our written comment, and now I will play the voicemail we received.
Hi, my name is Aurelia Uribe, and I'm calling in regards to the 7-Eleven that's being planned to be built on the corner of 5th Street and H. We're already a high crime area, and I don't agree with another convenience store that sells alcohol and tobacco and paraphernalia items in our neighborhood. Maybe try something like a pharmacy or a restaurant or something more family oriented. There's high crime. We just had a shooting over the weekend in the area. Please take this into consideration. Thank you.
And that is it for public comment.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. Since this will be continued, I do advise that we probably continue this conversation at the next meeting or when it is scheduled to be presented as a full staff report, because the project, I do understand, is going in phases and there are other elements being constructed aside from the 7-Eleven. So I will actually just entertain a motion at this point to continue this item.
I'd like to make a motion to continue the item to the next meeting, or, whenever Oliver decides to put on the calendar.
Chair, I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
go ahead.
I think Amelia has comments.
Oh,
Commissioner Lopez, you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry. If we're going to continue for the next session and have our full report, I'd like to have a little bit more than what the police recommend. Is just really a summary that they recommend. I want to know what that's based on, because as some of the residents have said, and I'm familiar with that area as well, about crime rate or whatever, what is they measured to say that recommend that it's okay to have an alcohol outlet in an area that ABC has already identified as being oversaturated. So whatever full report next time, I would have the expectation we have a little bit more input from the police in that summary report, or have someone from the police department there to answer questions as to how they came to the recommendation. I'm not opposed generally to the project. I understand, because under it says Fifth Street Gateway. We have a major bridge, we have a lot of traffic that goes there, et cetera, and I saw in the packet that even the mayor and council are for it. So, but the residents who live there on that street, 6th Street between H and G, I have knowledge that they've eliminated all the prostitution that was going on there. And it's very close, that area. And there's, even with the residents, it's an older resident, but I would like to have in the full report some more information about how did the police come to the recommendation. The other thing is, it does mention that, and if the developer can clarify this, or staff clarify this, that there's going to be staff assistance. Most of that staff is going to be at peak hours, but it's a 24-hour operation. And it mentioned, as when I was reading it, that there was only one that was going to be there in the late night, which I don't think that's safe for that person that's working there. And how is that person going to keep some of the nighttime, late night problems of loitering or panhandling or any of that while he or she is tending the store inside? So I'd like a little more information about that. Well, thank you.
Amelia, as we said, we'll actually get more information in a full report. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of touch on those, and the applicant will be here to answer for more of those questions. Alongside the report, we'll probably have a bit more on the police report and whatnot. So at this point, I will close public hearing for this item, and I will entertain a motion. We do have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion, we have a second. Stephanie, if we could have a vote roll call.
Commissioner Guerrero?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
Did you say Commissioner Lopez? Aye.
Chair Sanchez?
Did you hear? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Chang? Commissioner Chang?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Jaramillo?
Yes.
Item is continued.
Continuing on to item number 4. If we could have the staff report, please.
Yes, good evening, commissioners. Item number 4 is development permit type P 20-03 for track map 20145. The proposed project is to construct 16 single-family residences for a previously approved track map 20145 on an undeveloped site containing approximately 5.98 acres located on the north side of West Belmont Avenue, approximately 1,000 feet west of North Palm Avenue, about 1,100 feet from Palm Avenue Elementary, within the residential low RL zone. DP P20-03 is a proposal for the construction of the 16 single-family homes, which was previously analyzed. Oh, sorry. We have our location map. I'm not paying attention to the PowerPoint. We have our aerial map. And now on to the analysis. As before, DP P20-03 is a proposal for the construction of 16 single-family homes. It was previously analyzed and approved under subdivision 18-08 for the subdivision of the 16 lots with a minimum lot size of 12,505 square feet, and there would be no new significant impacts from this proposal. For the architecture, the homes will be constructed in 2 different themes, which would be mission and farmhouse. There are 3 different floor plans. The homes will have 3 different floor plans to choose from. Plan 1 at 3,068 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, and 1 story. Plan 2 at approximately 3,447 square feet with 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 2 story. And Plan 3 at approximately 3,732 square feet with 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 2 story. All plans come with a standard 2-car garage. The landscape will cover approximately 58,000 square feet in total, with each home frontage landscaped at approximately 31,000 square feet, along with the required CFD landscape area in the Belmont frontage. Southern live oak, pineapple guava tree, and sweet acacia are some of the drought deciduous species chosen for the project. Vinyl-proof fencing will be provided in between the homes, and a 6-foot-high split-face block will be constructed on the perimeter of the track map to ensure privacy for all neighbors. Access is taken from a new cul-de-sac constructed as part of the off-site improvements and will take access from Belmont Avenue. A stop sign will be placed on the corner of Belmont Avenue and Myrna Avenue to ensure vehicle and pedestrian safety. A traffic analysis was conducted as part of subdivision 18-08, and there's no justification for a signal light nor a 4-way stop, as Myrna Avenue is not a through street and will not generate traffic from the 16 new residences. Here we have the existing site looking northeast. Next slide. We have the existing site looking northeast. And we have the existing site looking from the northeast with the trail. Here we have the site plan. And as you can see, the landscape plan. You can see the perimeter split face block, 6 feet high. And our recommendation is that the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2020-045, finding the previous environmental determination in accordance with section 15162 of the California Environmental Quality Act for development permit type P 20-03, tract map 20145, and approving development permit type P 20-03 for tract map 20145 based on the findings of fact and subject to the recommended conditions of approval. I can take any questions, and I believe that the applicant is with us today too.
Commissioner and commissioners, if I may add to this, want to make a couple of modifications, and specifically as it relates to the environmental determination on this project. Subsequent to the posting of the agenda, we have consulted with the legal counsel. They advised us that the appropriate CEQA finding or section would be 15075, which is notice of determination. There was a previous mitigated negative declaration that was prepared for this. This would be the appropriate CEQA finding, which would be section 15075 of CEQA. We've made those appropriate changes in the resolution and in the staff report that was updated and posted. We've also included that in the revised agenda that is up on the website. Just wanted to provide that clarification for the CEQA finding of the document. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Oliver.
You're
At
welcome.
this point, I will open public hearing for this item, and I do believe we have a public comment.
We do. We have 3 written public comments. We also have a voicemail. So I will start with the written. Our first comment comes from Donna Bazais. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Her letter states, a parcel of land is proposed to be developed into 16 single-family dwellings on the north side of Belmont Avenue, along the east side of Chestnut Trail, south of West Comstock Road. My response to notice of public hearing before the City of San Bernardino Planning Commission is my concerns. My home has a curb appeal and a view. Sitting in my yard, I can enjoy the benefit of living very near the San Bernardino National Forest. The view from my yard allows me to see the foothills of the SBNF. While I was not guaranteed that this view would always be here, I have grown accustomed to this environment with all its natural beauty. With the effective value of my house, or of my home to be decreased by the building of 16 dwellings behind my yard. Quiet sounds of nature in a neighborhood with elbow room between the houses will be replaced with sounds of closer neighbors, their social gatherings, and vehicles. When construction starts, there will be noise of heavy machinery and tools banging for months. Noise that can be stressful on sensitive people, small children, pets, and wildlife. Construction workers just outside of my bedroom and bathroom windows means privacy issues. Construction workers also eat meals on site and are known to leave takeout packaging laying around. Well, we have serious wind issues in this neighborhood. Will their litter and the litter of the construction end up flying onto our yards and streets? Speaking of the wind issues, there are frequent in the neighborhood. The dust will increase. I will have extra work keeping my house and property neat and livable. Besides dust, there is mud. The west side of the proposed development used to be natural wash. The city paved over it and created the Chestnut Walking Trail. However, the area still floods during rainstorms. Piles of red mud get tracked all over Belmont Avenue and adjoining streets. How will the developer plan for the storm floods? Paving over nature destroys natural flood control and may worsen flooding. An important issue that must be brought up regards the ant colonies that lie below the surface of the whole area. The ants in the area are aggressive and biting. Local elementary schools have an ongoing fight to control them with and without pesticides. It took years to get the ants under control in my yard. Construction will undoubtedly disrupt ant colonies, causing them to move into neighboring properties. Another issue that is dear to my heart concerns the local wildlife and ecosystem. The noise and construction will disrupt the habitats in and around the field. I have seen a pair of cranes on lizards every spring. And that is the end of the 3 minutes for that public comment. Next.
I'll ask at this point, sorry, Stephanie, to interrupt. If you are not speaking, if you can mute yourself, that way we'll make sure that we can hear the public comments. So Mr. Meeker, I think we heard your audio just a little bit. So if you could mute yourself and then we'll continue with public comment.
Sorry about that.
Next public comment comes to us from Leonard Ramos. No more homes should be built in the Vertimont area due to overcrowding. The intersection at Palm and Kendall is already unable to handle traffic flow in the morning and evening commuting hours. A on and off ramp design needs to be completed prior to any thought of increasing the population in this area. In addition, the Chestnut Trail is not being maintained by the city as promised when it was initially built, and we homeowners signed away our rights to that property in the form of an easement for the city to maintain. The developer promised to maintain the easement along with the city, and both have failed to honor this promise. The fencing is broken by vandals and graffitied continuously without city intervention and/or repairs. I suspect these same promises will be made by the new developer and still go unresolved. If this plan goes forward, make the new developer reconstruct a new fence along the entire Chestnut Trail that cannot be destroyed by vandals. The dirt trail is also always eroded due to broken sprinklers that are not regularly maintained. The developer should also install doggy bag permanent stands that can take doggy poop bags to prevent the ongoing problem of dog poop on the walking trails. I prefer that the development not occur. However, if it goes forward, all these issues need to be repaired, rectified, and addressed before moving forward. Our last public comment, a written public comment, comes from Kathy Soto. I am responding to the upcoming hearing for the development planned off of Belmont and Myrna. My concerns are how they are going to control dust dirt from getting onto my yard, residence, traffic control so I am able to get in and out of my driveway, and also this is a high wind area, so how will they keep dirt and sand from hitting my front windows? The road on Belmont is in desperate need of repaving. The last developer said they would pave the street, but it was never done. We would need to have in writing the concerns we have regarding the above concerns. Also to have them maintain a clean and trash-free work site. Parking concerns for the workers is still in heavy traveled streets. Thank you. And lastly, we have a voicemail.
Hi, Stephanie. My name is Martha Zepeda, M-A-R-T-H-A, Zepeda, Z-E-P-E-D-A. This is in regards to the proposed development plan by the LDS Church here on Belmont and Ophelia, just west of Palm. Two concerns. One is the noise level throughout the day. For those of us who have to telework, the field sits right behind my house, which is adjacent to the trail. So how is that going to be addressed? Or is someone going to come engage that throughout the day? And who do we submit any concerns throughout the day if there's noise and I can't work? And second of all, the dust, the dirt, anything left over on Belmont or even on the trail by the crew that's working, the building crew, who has oversight? How will that be addressed? And again, who do we submit concerns to? My contact phone number is 909-223-7485. My email is
I don't think she'd want that on public record. That is all.
Commissioners, if I may respond to some of the comments that were made, please. I just, for clarification and as an update, the commissioners may recall that the tentative track map was approved by the Planning Commission in last June 11th of 2019. That's when the subdivision was considered and approved by the Planning Commission. This evening before you is only for the construction of the 16 homes. So the way that the subdivision has been laid out and lot sizes and those kinds of things, that's already been analyzed and approved by the commission. So before you is basically the architectural floor plans, elevations, and such. There was a question that was raised regarding the property maintenance during construction and what have you. We do have construction hours that the contractors have to adhere to. Also, there are requirements for property maintenance during construction, so they pick up after themselves. There's dust control measures with watering trucks to keep the dust down during grading activities. The question came up as it related to what's going to happen when it rains once the homes were built. Through the approval of the subdivision or the tentative track map, it did include a grading plan, It also includes measures for they're called BMPs for the erosion control and drainage of the water to capture and where that goes. And so adequate measures have been addressed to control any runoff or to prevent certain amount of runoff from the ultimate houses onto the streets and the properties. Those are kind of the major concerns. I know there were some comments as it relates to the trail there, which has been put up there. It's maintained by the city, or responsibility of the city to some extent. I believe it's under and maybe I know if Alex is here, I'm not sure if it's under an old LMD or one of the new CFDs, but has been a lot of discussions in the past as to whether or not there's a Vertimont trail system. I know that there was some studies that were done way back, 10 plus years ago. A master plan for the trails out in Vertimont has not been ultimately approved. There were some concepts, and over the course of time, some projects have come in, and they've at least recognized some need or what have you, and fragments have been installed. We could look further into the maintenance of that trail and such, but it's really not intended to be a responsibility of this particular property owner. And again, I just wanted to, as a reminder, this item just is for the construction of the homes. Subdivision has already been approved. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver.
You're welcome.
So we'll go down from ward to ward, starting with Commissioner Guerrero. Do you have any comments on this?
No comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Lopez, do you have any comments?
Yes, I do. Some concerns that were brought up in terms of may not have anything to do directly with the project, but I've been hearing these concerns for the longest time because there's always been a lot of home build in that area, especially when they talk about flooding in mud, overrun. City was supposed to maintain it together with the previous developer. And some of them have made strong allegations that it hasn't been done. They may not be related directly to the project, but I think residents get a feeling that what they're saying is as we continue to build homes and populate the area and whatever, that some of these concerns are just increased. Is it true that the city agreed to, as one person said, we signed away our rights to a certain creek bed or a trail or something, and that the city was supposed to maintain it together with the developer, but that hasn't happened? That, I think, probably the strongest statement that's made.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you saying the maintenance of the trail itself or the surrounding area? What specifically? I'm not sure I caught all of it.
I think one of the, I don't have the letter here in front of me, but Stephanie did send out earlier and I did read it. One of the concerns was that some of the issues of development in that area have not really been addressed. And it seems to be there's a lot of concern about the winds are strong. There's a whole lot of dust. The wind, when it blows, even hits me, and I'm located on the south side of 210, just barely in the Musbiabi area. We get them strong here. It's even stronger. So making some of those problems that they raise about dust and noise, it's meaningful for them. But the most complaint that I oftentimes hear has to do with runoff, rain and mud and things flooding down. And that when the previous developer built some homes there, people tell me that there was an agreement and that the city took over and the residents who live around it signed up their rights to put that creek bed, that the city and the developer at that time were supposed to maintain it. And what they're saying is it hasn't been maintained at all and get problems.
I think
I don't know about that, so I'm asking, what is that all about?
I think maybe it may be misunderstood there's a lot of moving pieces here. So yes, when there's winds and rains and those kinds of things, there are going to be, there's going to be dust and what have you, flying around a bit. That goes away when there's development. When there's large areas that are vacant, we got these vacant hillsides or rolling hills or even vacant lots like this one. It's natural whenever there's winds or rains that empty field is going to affect the surrounding areas. The thing about the maintenance of drainage and flood control and maintenance of the streets and those kinds of things, it may be, there was you may recall, I think it was several months ago at the city council, there was some discussion about converting to landscape maintenance districts and community facilities districts. And you may recall last year around this time, every time there was an extension of time for one of the maps, you may recall that we also had an amendment to conditions application that was attached to it because we needed to change the language in those maps, switching from an LMD or landscape maintenance district to a CFD or a community facilities district. So the intent of that was under the landscape maintenance districts, all those homeowners of these new tracts, they would only be responsible for the slopes and the common areas within their subdivision, kind of a thing. What the city council had decided and switching to the community facilities district is to expand that so that those property owners of these new tracts are now responsible for maintaining the I'll call it the infrastructure or the immediate infrastructure in front of their projects, i.e. their sidewalks, their street lights, any flood control measures. So as projects start constructing, and the property owners of those new developments will be within the CFD, and that maintenance will occur, and they'll be through the taxes or through the assessment. It'll come to the city, and then the city will maintain those areas or those facilities, the immediate areas. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're all, tomorrow maintaining all of the streets, all of the slopes in that same manner. It's as development occurs, that's where these improvements are maintained. So that occurs as development happens.
Just another comment, if I may. I know you're aware, and I'm vaguely aware. I've only seen reports. I have a lot of time to review. And I know that there was a Vertimont resident committee to put out what they felt that development should be in that area and certain concerns or anything. As the project was going forward, did this department consider what they had in terms of input to see what could be either compromised on or mitigated or anything like that? Or are you familiar with that group?
Nothing has been formalized, from that. I know, like I mentioned earlier, there have been a lot of studies, there have been a lot of desires. There's always been talks about, do we need a specific plan or what, how are we guiding, the future here? There is nothing that's documented that says that this is how it's going to be handled. And frankly, that's one of the reasons why, we're moving forward with the entire general plan for the entire city. And so it's going to cover a lot of items. And so that's something that we'll make sure is covered within our new general plan when it's adopted.
I understand that there may be a lot of reports in the past, but this is a report that was put together by the residents who live there, our residents. And because they are investing in their homes and their community development, it's their input, which I think should be considered. Just like, I come from the Moose Kubi area. Just as a reminder, we had the TAD building and so forth. And if you had been at the meeting where all the residents came in, one of the main things was they felt that they were not consulted or discussed or asked about what is it they wanted in their community. And that creates a lot of bad feelings and bad faith about the city. We've had all over. So I'm just saying, they put in a lot of time in organizing themselves as a community group to discuss what they like to see in the development. I would think it would behoove us to kind of talk with them or look at a report, whether there's something that are feasible or not. Those that would be determined with a lot of dialogue. But I was just wondering if that report had been considered or their impact been considered when this project was moved over, or any future project for building homes, because that's a fairly new place. That's really the only, but a lot of people are in homes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Lopez. Commissioner Jones, any comments on this?
No, I have no comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wolbert, any comments?
Oh, okay. Couple. Oliver, without bringing up the map again, that property is surrounded by existing homes on all three sides, correct?
That is correct.
Those homes have been there for more than 10 years?
I would say somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, somewhere like that. And this piece of land is always been, I'm assuming, residential, set up for residential.
That is correct.
Yeah, so this isn't a surprise to anybody. There's going to be houses in there, but you know, dust control and everything else. There's a lot of things that can be done. In other words, the AQMD, you don't want to deal with them. I mean, I've been there, and all one of those residents has to do is file a claim with AQMD, and they'll be there instantly with dust and control. And OSHA has a part of it too. And a lot of people may not understand, erosion control during construction is a tough job, but that's what all the sandbags are for, to control that. And also, I'm only talking about, I don't know if this is a requirement on it, but you've got the entrance and exit of the site, there is dust control or tire cleaning of gravel and that sort of thing as well. And also, I don't know if this is, I know I've had to do this, provide a street sweeper 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day, specifically at the end of the day. Just, pick up the dust and that sort of thing. And that's not a big deal, really. So let's see. Does Public Works, well, I guess they do. I'm talking to myself here. Erosion control. Does Public Works have any input on existing construction, erosion control or anything like that?
Good evening, commissioners. This is Alex Kishta, the city engineer for the city of San Bernardino. Yes, we have inspection team that they ensure that all the erosion control, everything that is really, is in place and is taken care of. Even if there is a problem with dust, usually my staff get called and we are on top of it to make sure that there is no dust or they do not exceed the working hours that they've been, they've been conditioned to do work with.
Good, that's what I was trying to point, because I think maybe some of these homeowners don't understand that, and with that respect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wolbert, and thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Commissioner Chang, any comments?
Yes, I have a few actually. Could you pull up the track map for me, Stephanie? Thank you. So my understanding is that per the track map, just for my understanding, the Belmont Avenue, the main entrance to the subdivisions of the Belmont Avenue, and it's basically a subdivision or cul-de-sac. So will the developer build new fence along the trail route? I think that's the trail on the north side of the paper, or we're looking at site plan. So paper north, that's where the trail is. And the paper south, that's the boundary line. And then paper east, so will there be a solid, like a boundary property wall that the developer will be built?
Yes, there will be a 6-foot high split face perimeter wall surrounding the entire property on the perimeter.
Okay. And
Yes.
thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
my second question is that after the developer putting the new split face CMU wall along the paper north where the trail is, does that trail become like a dead zone or like an alleyway?
No, it would still be usable by the community.
Okay.
It would still be in place.
Okay. Got it. All right. So the trail continues for the public purpose.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. And the city, obviously, you explained it, the staff explained it earlier, the city is to maintain the trail.
That is correct.
And for the public use, yeah, I think that trail is very attractive. It's very nice to have a trail there for public. You know, it just, my only concern is that when you build a wall, a CMU wall, then we don't want that become an alleyway where indecent behavior takes place in the middle of the night.
No, there is hardscape between the perimeter wall and actually the fencing for the trail, where they would not be able to post themselves. It's rocky and very not so nice landscaping, cacti, hardscape. Yes.
So it would not become a homeless encampment.
No, it's defensible landscaping. It would not be. Yes.
Okay. And other than that, I have no other question. I think the development suits. I'm not concerned about dust control, all that. Oh, one more question. Sorry. Yes. What is the ordinance on the construction hours for this?
They are from 5 to 7 p.m.
5 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes.
So if the neighbors complain about the noise control, can it apply for a variance, say, start construction 7 a.m. and ends the construction 7 p.m.? A Monday to Friday? It's a Monday to Friday, or it's a Monday to Sunday?
Just Monday through Friday.
So what about, can the neighborhood apply for a variance where it says start construction at 7 a.m. and end the construction at 7 p.m.?
I would.
That's something the citizens of
Actually,
San Bernardino can do.
The construction hours are not at that time. So you may not do construction between 8 p.m.
and 7
a.m. in the morning.
Oh, okay.
You have to start construction. It has to be after 7 a.m. and you have to shut down by 8 o'clock at night.
That's reasonable. Awesome. And that's very reasonable.
Sorry, I misunderstood it. I was quoting the wrong.
I thought you meant starting the construction at 5 a.m.
No, cannot start machinery or any noise protecting, before the 8 a.m. But they can start prepping for the day at 5 a.m.
Yes, agreed. Concur. Yes. Thank you.
No problem.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Chang. Continue on. Commissioner Jaramillo, do you have any comments about this?
I just have a question for Oliver, just to clarify. He said that something was already approved in June or July, and now we're just approving for them to start building.
That is correct. It was in June of 2019. That's when the subdivision was approved.
Okay.
So now the lots are already created. Now they're just going back just to build the 16 homes. That's what the request is for.
Now, at this point, do we know when they're going to start building the homes, or how long it's going to take?
I believe the applicant is in the waiting room here somewhere. Am I correct, Stephanie?
I have nobody in a waiting room. If the applicant is here, they're on the video.
That's me, George Meeker. I'm here, Oliver.
Okay, great. Welcome, George.
Welcome, George.
Thank you, guys. Our plan is to start as soon as we have a grading permit, which we expect to receive late October, and it should take us approximately a year to do the land development and build the homes, and maybe 14 months, but that's our time period.
Okay. Those are the only questions I had, just to get an idea.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Jaramillo. I just wanted to say, George, with that, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your last name.
It's Meeker.
Meeker, thank you. I want to thank you, Mr. Meeker. This project actually looks really quite beautiful. The varieties of homes, everything looks actually really good. It's an infill surrounded by different homes. It's residential all around, so it's understood that residents and other homes were going to be built there, and it looks really quite appealing. I wouldn't be doing anyone any favors, but in honor of Commissioner Liang, I am going to comment on the split face. Is that only on the public side, or is that going to be also on the residential side?
I would ask Michael if he could answer that, because I'm not sure how we were approved.
They're going to do it on both sides.
Okay.
Split face.
Perfect.
Towards the frontage and in the interior.
Wonderful. Then that way we just, elevate the neighborhood, and it maintains a really nice image all around. I honestly have no negative comments about this project. I think it'll be beautiful, a great addition. And about the construction concerns, there's always going to be a little disturbance for a year, but then afterwards it'll have really nice homes in that area. So I think it'll overall be a great addition to the neighborhood. So thank you. And I'll go one more time around with the commissioners. If you guys have any additional comments, if you want to just raise your hand. If not, yes, Commissioner Guerrero.
I do. Thank you. I did have a question for the developer. So financing's already in place. There won't be any delays on construction once the grading permit's been issued?
Financing is agreed to. It's not in place because we don't put it in place till we actually start. But we do have a lender and it is approved. There shouldn't be any delays. No, we don't start and then stop. That's doesn't pay very well. So it would be our desire to move forward as rapidly as possible.
Thank you.
Sure.
I have another question real quick.
Yes, Commissioner.
For George, more or less at this point of the project, do you have an idea of the starting prices for any of those houses?
It hasn't been set. I mean, but it's going to be in the high fives, I think, because we've kind of planned this as a move up for the local neighborhoods.
Okay, I just thought about that when Mrs. Guerrero was asking her question.
All right. Any other comments? If not, I will close public hearing and I will entertain a motion for this item.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2020-045, approving development permit type P20-03 based on the findings of fact and subject to the recommended conditions of approval as read into the record.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Stephanie, if we could have a vote roll call.
Commissioner Guerrero?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
I'm going to say yes to the project, and I'm hopeful that the developer and the city and the residents together can work together to negate some of the concerns that were brought up tonight. Thank you.
Chair Sanchez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Chang?
Yes.
Commissioner Jaramillo?
Aye.
Item is approved.
Congratulations, George.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And welcome to the city.
Thanks.
All right. Continuing on to item number 5. If we could have a staff report.
I gotta get myself unmuted there. Item number 5 this evening is General Plan Amendment 19-03, Development Code Zoning Map Amendment 1908, Subdivision 1916, and Development Permit Type D 1913. This is a request ultimately to construct an industrial warehouse building, approximately 470,000 square feet in size. Project site is at the southeast corner of South Foyce Street and East Central Avenue. It's on a project site just over 20 acres in size, and the property is currently zoned public park and industrial light. This is an aerial of the property. You can see there is some existing development towards the north end. It's currently a school property, which I'll touch on in just a moment, and then some assorted vacant lots and other existing industrial and older residential uses to the south of the property. As mentioned, there is about 2/3 of the site currently zoned public park, with the remainder zoned industrial light. And the first request on this item is for a general plan amendment and a zoning district amendment from public park, from open space to industrial for the general plan and public park to industrial light. It's totaling an area approximately 14 acres out of the 20. Upon change of those zoning districts, the property would then be consolidated from the existing 10 parcels into a single parcel. I do want to clarify just some additional information. Although the property is currently zoned public park, it is not a park space within the city. It is not property owned by the city. This used to be, and it was the site where the Norton Science and Language Academy has been operating for a number of years. As part of the previous project for their new development along Waterman Avenue, there was a land swap done with the city. So the city no longer owns this property. It is in the hands of the private developer that's proposing the item this evening. So there is no loss in park space as a result of this land use change. Additionally, the project was reviewed subject to a mitigated negative declaration under CEQA. That was publicly reviewed. The only comments we received on that were from the South Coast Air Quality Management District, and comments for those had been addressed and are included in the final MND that was included as part of the packet. Next slide, please. This is a couple shots of the existing site. This is along Central Avenue towards the corner of Foyce, kind of towards the northwest corner of the property. Looking south, you just see a little bit of the existing school. And then this is along Central Avenue, along Foyce Street, towards the southwest corner of the property, looking at the existing kind of assorted industrial uses. And we have the aerial of the property, the site plan. You can see the proposed building. It's a little bit hard to see just because some of the lines mixed together. I said approximately 470,000 of industrial. There would be dock facilities located on both the east and west sides, on the interior of the site, and then along the frontage on Foyce Street. These are the elevations of the property, just two of them. The top elevation would be what is visible along Central on the north side of the site. You see office elements on both corners of the property. And then the lower image would be the frontage along Foyce Street. Still office elements at both sides. And then there is the truck dock. What is not shown in this elevation, so that the building is visible, is the screened in truck court. This area would be surrounded by a 14-foot high screen wall, which would obstruct all view of the trucks and the loading operations. And then the landscape plan for the site, landscaping not included within the truck court areas, so you'll see there is none on the far eastern edge of the site. It's all concentrated along the street frontages, with a little bit of more significant landscaping directly in front of that screen wall on the far west of the site, and then throughout the vehicular parking areas on the north and south of the property. And our recommendation this evening is to adopt Resolution 2020-042. That would be to forward a recommendation to the Mayor and City Council. This is because of the General Plan Amendment and the Development Code Amendment. And that recommendation would include the adoption of the mitigated negative declaration and approval of the project applications based off the findings of fact and subject to the conditions. With that, I'll open it up to any questions. I do also want to make note, we do have representatives from both the developer and the environmental team that project on the meeting that can be available for any questions as well.
All right, thank you so much, Travis. At this point, I will open it up to public hearing, and I believe we do have public comments on this.
Yes, thank you, Chair. We have one written comment that I will prepare. This comes to us from Thomas Ruiz, and he is with the Laborers International Union of North America. Dear honorable members of the Planning Commission, on behalf of our 1,700 members and their families, we thank the Commission for your effort and support of bringing economic prosperity to the city of San Bernardino. We are writing you to express our strong support for the Waterman Land Ventures project located at the southeast corner of South Boise and East Central Avenue. LIUNA is a strong supporter of development that provides jobs and quality wages, health benefits, including vacation pay and retirement, and the opportunity to advance. Our members are skilled and experienced, hardworking men and women trained to safely construct this project. This development will improve the local infrastructure, bringing fiscal benefits and jobs to the city of San Bernardino. As unemployment continues to rise, projects like this one is essential to the local economy and tax base, but most importantly to our members with the ability of continued work. We respectfully ask the Planning Commission to carefully consider the project benefits and jobs that residents will have to gain from Waterman Land Ventures project. Thank you for your consideration. And that is it.
Thank you, Stephanie. All right. At this point, I'll let the applicant, if they wish to speak or add any comments.
That would be me, Jason Krotz, Commissioner, members of the Commission, staff. Thank you for allowing us to have the opportunity to bring this project to the city. We've been working on this project for several years now. It started, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years ago with the start of our working relationship or our partnership with the city. And this is what will hopefully not be the last of our efforts within the city. We support staff's recommendation to move forward to City Council. We've reviewed the preliminary conditions of approval. Like Travis said, members of our development and design team are here to answer any questions you have. Thank you. And sorry about the background. I didn't know it was set. I'm trying to bring a little sunshine to this gloomy Southern California. It's gray skies.
No worries, and thank you, Jason. At this point, I'll go down the list of the commissioners. That way we can hear comments from you. Commissioner Guerrero?
Sorry about that. No questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lopez, any comments?
No questions or comments at time. Thank you.
Perfect. Commissioner Jones?
No comments in regards to the presentation, but thank you, Jason, for bringing this project to San Bernardino.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Commissioner Wilbert, any comments?
Yeah, the property, look, can we bring the site plan back up? Okay, you mentioned where is the school property on that in relation to the site plan?
The school property, and it may be a little easier if we skip back to the aerial. That'll show it a little bit better. One more.
Yeah.
So the entire the red outline is the entire project site, and the school property is kind of in an L shaped along the northern half of the property, and then the eastern side. You can see kind of a grouping of buildings along the north end. Thank you, Stephanie. And then that long drive aisle with the cul-de-sac and the fields on the southeast side.
So is that an actual operating school, or is that just a maintenance yard?
No, that's the existing Norton Science and Language Academy. As I mentioned, that was a project we looked at back in January of this year. like I said, as part of the deal and part of what's added to some of the time on this is there was the swap of property. This park area or this land that the school's on is currently owned by this or was owned by the city. And the developer, Jason's team, owned property up on South Waterman. They then switched, they did a swap for property so that, we could focus the industrial development down in this area with the other existing developments. And the school is rebuilding up on Waterman and Valley, just a little ways up the road. So in the future, prior to this development going in, should it be approved this evening, this school would be relocating to a brand new purpose-built facility up the street.
Oh, so there isn't any students going to be involved
No. Prior to the construction on this, the property would be vacated completely.
Understand. Traffic control, where's the main traffic headed?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The main traffic pattern for the warehouse, where to?
So there are a couple routes that traffic would be, or the truck and vehicular traffic would be able to take. Just going, and it's off of the aerial here, but just going along Central, which is the street on the northern boundary, just to the west, the next block over is Waterman Avenue, which is then a signalized intersection. And just east, if you go due east, you can see the street just to the right there. That is Lena Avenue, which goes down and connects with Orange Show Road, and then would also connect out to Waterman to the west or over to Tippecanoe on the east side.
So Waterman would be the main route to the freeway?
Like I said, there would be a couple avenues. Waterman would be a major one. But if you go down to Orange Show, they would have access directly across to the 215, or you could go over to Tippecanoe if you needed to head east. There's really direct or access in all directions from the site.
So I'm kind of lost. Looking at the map, okay, to the top of the screen, that road, there you go, that road right there, that's Waterman?
No, that is Central Avenue.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I understand now. All right. There is not any plans of any street improvements at all, or?
The street improvements, as standard for all of our projects, specifically the industrial, would be their frontages, the property frontages, both along Waterman, both along Central Avenue and Foyce Street. So they do have to improve, curb, gutter, sidewalk, repaving of the half width of the street all along their property frontages.
I understand. It has nothing to do with this job. I think that developers
just for the commission's benefit, we had agreed with the developer for them to do full pavement.
Oh, I'm sorry, full
Central
width.
Avenue. It's not only half width, it's a full pavement rehab of Central and the other street that abutting this project.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for the clarification, Alex.
Okay.
It does occur to me also, if anyone's familiar with the area currently along Central, there is a fence median that runs in the middle of the street that's there to help protect the children during pickup and drop off for the existing school. Since the school would be vacating the property, that median would also be removed so that Central would have more unrestricted access on and off the property.
I'm pleased to see that the streets will be curb to curb. That's kind of a thing with me. You destroy streets building the development. So that's good. Very, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Chang, any comments?
No, I think it's a good idea for this site. It's very good. I support the project, and it's a good urban refill. So, yes, no further comments. Looks like there was a landscape plan. I don't know if the developer or owner care to talk about the landscape plan proposed for this project a little bit to share that with us.
Stephanie, can you click back to that slide? should be the second to last slide. One up. That perfect. Thank you. So, I mean, I'll jump in first and see if Jason wants to add anything. So the landscape plan has been prepared for the site. What's shown on the slide here doesn't go into the specifics of types of plantings. At this phase, the focus is more on the area and the distribution of the landscaping. What is shown on here is the heavy landscape setback. There's a 20-foot setback from property line to the first curbing or wall as applicable. Along both street frontages, the north and west side of the site, it would be fully landscaped. And then that landscaping is continued through all of the vehicular parking areas, the areas that are ungated. Everything within the truck court, both on the east and west side of the property, that area is not landscaped because it's inside of the screen wall. But everything else is there focused along both frontages.
And I'll thank you, Travis. I'll just add that, obviously as a developer, our intention is to try to do the best we can to screen the building and or sensitive areas. We try to take an approach, or at least our company takes an approach of we would want to own this property long-term or as long as possible. So we take a lot of pride in the design, the function, the quality of the construction of the building, all the way down to the landscape. So, a lot of times, excuse me, you drive by a newer project and you'll see, or it'll appear that new landscaping goes in and it's pretty small, pretty sparse. We try to get maybe a little bit larger or more mature plant material, but it's a delicate balance. As you can obviously see, it's heavily landscaped on the north and west side of the property. On the east side, that actually faces another industrial development, which is under construction right now with Hillwood. So we try to place it as best as possible. And it, we'll overplant certain areas and try to, hide the sensitive areas.
Thank you. Looks good. Thank you for the consideration in contributing to beautification of streetscape. However small way, everywhere we can get, it's definitely welcome.
Sure. Thank you.
No further comments from me. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, Commissioner Jaramillo, any comments?
No, I don't have any comments. I think that it's a good project based on what we're taking a look at, and look forward to working with Jason and his team on future projects. That's it.
Wonderful. All right. So I am from the 3rd Ward, so this is definitely in my area. And when I initially saw it, there wasn't too much comment about the school having moved up a little bit. So I was kind of worried that we were taking over a park and a school and everything, but thankfully you guys were able to clarify that. So half of my concerns were wiped from there. The setback, the landscaping, it looks wonderful. I saw that you guys had about like a 25-foot setback, it looks like, and then plenty of landscaping with I think 70% you said in the parking area was going to be as green as possible. So thank you for that. Honestly, I looked at the project. I think it's going to be a great addition, and welcome to the city.
Thank you.
So, so if we have any other comments from the commissioners, raise of hand. If not, then I will close public hearing for this item. Oh yes, Albert.
Thank you, Chair. Just wanted to remind you, since this is a recommended general plan amendment and development code amendment, the municipal code requires an affirmative 5 votes to pass.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, I do have, you know what? One comment. Actually, no, I think I'm good. So I'll entertain a motion for this item.
I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item number 5, General Plan Amendment 19-03, as read into the record.
I'll second.
So we have a motion, we have a second. If we could have a vote roll call.
Just for clarification, Chair, the item is not for approval, it's to move to Mayor and City Council.
My apologies, to move to the City Council. I'd like to make a motion to approve the staff recommendations for agenda item number 5.
Thank you, Vice Chair. For the vote, Commissioner Guerrero,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes, or aye.
Chair Sanchez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Chang, Commissioner Chang.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Jaramillo.
Yes.
Thank you. The item is moved to council. It's a unanimous vote.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you and welcome to the city. All right. And I believe that is the last in terms of what we have on the agenda. Do we have any Planning Commission reports? Oh,
We do have, Chair, we do have 2 other items, but both are.
sure.
staff
Sorry.
recommended.
Oh, that's right. I wrote them on my notes in this next page. Continuing on to item number 6.
Yes, Commissioners. Item number 6 is General Plan Amendment 20-03, Development Code Amendment, Zoning Map Amendment 20-04, Development Permit Type P 20-02, and Subdivision 20-03 for tentative tract map 20293. Is for the property located on the east side of South Ferry Street, just south of the terminus of East Laurelwood Drive. We are asking that this item be continued to the next meeting. The applicant has reviewed some of the conditions, and we're in discussion with Public Works regarding the off-site improvements, and specifically along the cul-de-sac at the entrance of the project. And so we would like some time to get clarification on those conditions. So with that, I'd like to recommend that we continue to the next meeting of the 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. At this time, I'll open public hearing for this item. I believe we might have a public comments for this.
We do. Thank you, Chair. We do have a voicemail.
Yes, my name is Patrick Su. Last name is H-S-U. You could reach me at 951-329-2089. Regarding to tonight, public hearing of the tentative track map 20293. Okay, this is a 96 unit of development at Laurelwood Drive and the South Ferry Street. Okay, nearby Freeway 10. Okay, here's my 3 comments. Number 1, really there be a need for traffic light at the major intersection with this major development. That's number 1. Number 2, the Palm Street to line up the ferry along Freeway 10 to make this very pleasant-looking community. Okay, number 3, the storm system. Yeah, but this would be allowed a runoff due to 10 acres. The totally housing track, storm system. And the last one will be a sewer system. Definitely, we need a good sewer system as well as a storm system. Okay, here is my number, 951-329-2089. Okay, appreciate it. And I can give you my email address too.
And that is the end.
Thank you, Stephanie. All right. Since this item is going to be continued, and we'll have a full staff report for it.
I could address those comments real quickly if you'd like. As I mentioned, the applicant, we're working with Public Works. I can say with certainty that the project has been designed to include a storm drain system and the sewer system. So that's going to be included. So the answer to that question is yes. And as it relates to streetlights, there is not going to be if he meant a streetlight at Ferry and Laurelwood, there is not a streetlight at that entrance location. There'll be stop signs, but not a streetlight. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. Do any of the commissioners have any comments that they want to make now? If not, I will close public hearing and I will entertain a motion to continue this item.
Make a motion to continue item number 6.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. If we could have a vote roll call, Stephanie?
Commissioner Guerrero?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Chair Sanchez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilbert?
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Chang?
Yes.
Commissioner Jaramillo?
Aye.
Item is continued.
Perfect. All right, continuing on to item number 7. If we could have a staff report, please.
Yes, Commissioners. Item number 7 is Development Code Amendment 20-01. It's for our social services uses ordinance that we're preparing. We have made it through the draft document. Our intent was to meet with some of the community members that had been vocal or expressed some concerns regarding the contents of an ordinance like this. Our goal is to meet with them prior to the Planning Commission, kind of as a courtesy to outline and discuss what the ordinance is going to include that we are recommending, so that there can be a dialogue, maybe an easier way of dialogue, with the challenges of Zoom and conference calls and those kinds of things. So we plan on doing that over the course of the next week and bring this item back to you on the 22nd. Once we get a little bit of public feedback, if that's okay. So that's our recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver.
You're welcome.
At this time, I'll open public hearing for this item, and I believe we do have a public comment for this as well. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, perfect. So I will open it up to the commissioners if they have any comments. If not, I will close public hearing and we will continue this item for the next meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to continue agenda item number 7.
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second. If we could have a vote roll call.
Thank you. Commissioner Guerrero?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Chair Sanchez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilbert?
Yes.
Commissioner Chang?
Yes.
Commissioner Jaramillo?
Aye.
The item is continued.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie. I believe that is the last of the items we have this meeting. And we will go to Planning Commission reports and announcements.
So if I may just jump in real quick. One of the things that I wanted to mention for the Planning Commission tonight is Oliver and myself have actually been working through a request for proposal to hire a consultant to help the city with a comprehensive update to the general plan. We've finalized the interviews and we have selected a consultant to use. So we will be taking our recommendation to council at the September 16th meeting, at which time we're hoping the city council will go along with our recommendation. As soon as we get a planning consultant on board, we will actually start evaluating a schedule for the next, at least the next year to 2 years in regards to this big project. This is a huge project. So I wanted to mention this first and foremost because you are the Planning Commission, and many of the things we'll be talking about are definitely planning related. The other thing I want to start mentioning to you at this point is that since you all represent different wards of the community, I would strongly recommend that you reach out to other community members and really have them participate with this process. Once this gets adopted in 2.5 to 3 years, this document will be valid for upwards of 15 to 20 years. That will take and reflect what the community's long-term vision is for the city. So I really strongly recommend you start to reach out to some of your constituents and encourage them to participate. As we move forward, we'll have a website specifically dedicated to the update. There'll be a lot of good information. If people don't know we're working on it or want to check in regards to where we're at, there'll be a lot of information posted on that website, keeping people up to speed with the project. So again, really want to commissioners to participate and encourage your fellow community members to participate also. Oliver, did you want to add anything?
You know, along with that, you know, one of the things that we stressed to the while we were doing the interviews and in our request for proposal is information, and also to educate not just the general public, but the planning commissioners and the council themselves. So what we'll be doing early on. My goal is by the end of this year, you know, like Michael mentioned, we'll be going for the contract here, you know, next council meeting. So possibly in November, I will be asking someone from the consulting team, along with myself, to join me, and maybe we'll do an introductory presentation, if you will, to the Planning Commission, the general plan 101 kind of a discussion. Just kind of start to familiarize, get yourself in the thought process. It really won't be not intended to be a forum for questions and answers kind of a thing. It's really more, here's kind of a brush stroke of what a general plan is, and kind of an overview of the process. Provide you with we're looking to get a website up and running pretty quickly that will be updated regularly and often. And so we just want to introduce you to it. That'll be the goal. So as Michael indicated, so that you can reach out to your neighbors and fellow constituents and tell them, hey, you know, here's some information that you can get from our websites and those kinds of things. But our goal is to you know, get this project moving, but at the same time make sure that everyone is well informed along the way, so that by the time we're asking you to make recommendations and decisions, you'll already be fully engaged, you know. So there's no one sitting at the back of the room quietly in this exercise. You know, the expectation is that everyone participates, and we all take ownership of this document. As Michael said, this will be a 15-20-year document, and so we want to be proud of it as, you know, people look at this 10 years later and so forth. But we're excited to get this going. We really are. Thank you.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Huntley. Thank you, Oliver.
You are welcome.
Do any of the commissioners have any comments or any questions?
I have a comment or a question for Oliver. As far as you said it was more, the exercise was going to be just to get information. At what point would we be able to ask questions of what we've seen?
At the very end only. No, no, I'm joking. So I really want to get the framework. I mean, after this I'll call it the introductory meeting kind of thing, or kickoff meeting, if we want to call it that. You know, then, you know, that's when your wheels are going to start turning, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, our goal is to report to you regularly on the progress that we're making, not just to the Planning Commission. We also want to do this with the City Council, so that, you know, everyone's anxious, you know, what's going on, how quickly, let's not take forever, whatever the comments is. And so our goal is to kind of make that incremental process, you know, kind of continuous and ongoing. And so what we'll do is we'll you know, at the introduction, we'll kind of say that we'll lay it out for you. And then what we'll do is, you know what, we're going to have another meeting. We'll bring this back on the agenda. You know, maybe it's next month or whatever. We'll prompt you and we'll say at the next meeting, we're going to be discussing this, you know, whatever that topic is, you know. And so then you're always welcome to send us emails, you know, in between, if you know, so you don't lose your thoughts or things that you're interested in or would like us to focus in. But as you'll see from the introduction, there's a lot of topics that are covered in the general plan, a lot of them. You know, we got traffic, we got land use, we've got housing, we've got, you know, liquefaction zones, flooding, you know, air quality, you know, parks. I mean, there's a long list, you know, and so, you know, so we will prompt you along the way as to what we will be discussing coming up, so then you can start to gather your information or maybe ask some questions of us, maybe intermittently, kind of a thing. If you say, well, you know what, I'd like to, can we talk about this, or here are my thoughts, if you are more inclined to share them with us via an email or an offline conversation, as long as it's not a group of you, you know, kind of a thing, or collective effort. But you know, like a you know, you'll hear me. I'm going to be a broken record, you know. Participation. You know, and you know, as Commissioner Lopez indicated, you know, residents of the Vermont area, as an example, they've had all kinds of studies that have been done. I'm sure they have a long laundry list of things that they would like for us to examine, which we will, you know. And so, and that's not unique or special to the Vermont area. You know, we have 7 wards, and each ward can be its own city, right? You know, if we looked at it, you know, kind of based on, you know, kind of the surrounding communities and things. But really, to answer your question, Commissioner, you know, it's you know, the question and answer period will come pretty quickly. You know, again, the first meeting will just kind of be, what is a general plan?
Got it. All right, I have one more question. Just maybe it doesn't pertain with that, but it's just a quick question. Does the planning department have on the website, are we able to go in and look at any type of documents, like use on different properties?
In terms of what regard?
Like if I wanted to buy a and just plug in the address and find its use, if I could use it to be a truck stop or whatever.
Yes, we do. And if you like, I could walk you through the tutorial. Stephanie's going to laugh because I'm the most proficient when it comes to the computer system, right, Stephanie? So basically, if you go to community development services, real quickly here, if you click on that icon, it'll give you some choices. You go down to planning. You'll click on the planning icon, and then it'll open up some options. It'll say general plan, environmental documents, those kinds of things. One of them will say interactive zoning map. And if you click on that, the map of the city will show up, and on the upper left-hand corner, you can enter either the property address or the assessor parcel number. If you add the assessor parcel number, after the last number, add 4 zeros.
4 zeros?
Yeah, because the APN numbers are usually 9 numbers, but for whatever reason, you have to add 4 extra zeros at the end. That's how our system recognizes it, and then it'll put you up. It'll zoom you right in. If you notice our zoning maps that we show on our PowerPoint presentations, you know, we show you an aerial map and we show you a zoning map. That's where those maps come from. That kind of thing. Okay. So then you'll be able to, you'll see the property, and it'll tell you what the zoning is, and then you can look at a development code and figure out what that zoning allows, our land use table, if you will. How I do, Stephanie? Okay. Excuse me?
My computer stopped a little, so I didn't hear the initial website. What was it?
It's if you go to our city website, on the top border, you'll see it'll say government, and if you press government, it'll open up all the departments in the city.
Got it. All right, I'll find it. I just wasn't sure if it was a different website.
No, it's not.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You are welcome.
I have something, if I may. I just want to say thank you, Oliver, for keeping us posted on where we're at with the general plan and for expressing your comments about how important community residents' input is important. And I know those of us who are members of the neighborhood associations are gearing up for that. That's why I constantly ask, where are we at? Where are we at? Because we want to make sure that we compile our own recommendations to what the specific should be in that general plan, especially since everybody is saying how important it is. It's a plan the next 15 or more years, very important to the revitalization of San Bernardino. Now, in the past, I know the previous planning director, and I can remember 2 times, but the most recent one that I recall was something that was done at the old city hall. It was for residents to come and give their input as to what they envision, what is it that they wanted, in this particular case for the downtown corridor. There was discussion. They had sample photos of different kinds of things. I don't know where they got these sample photos, but people were asked to pinpoint with their comments what was most important to them. Places where they could get, places that they could take their family, to dine out, to feel safe, all kinds of recommendations. But some of them were very visual because of photos, and people were commenting, I would like this, and this would be good, and it would be great if we had that. So there have been avenues in the past to get community response. The next step is how much we take into consideration what is it that the community's vision is, and see how far we can include that. But I'm sure you'll be hearing me speak a lot more, and hopefully our neighborhood associations also regarding input to the general. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And that's our intent. And when we were going through the interviews and reviewing the proposals, the public participation and the question, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle that? And a little unique and under the times right now, no one knows how long we're going to have to be doing these meetings by Zoom. You know, not just our planning commission meetings, but initially, when we do public outreach and have our discussions with the general public or solicit input in these early stages, where there's going to be some limitation because of our inability to meet in large gatherings, kind of a thing. But I think you're gonna be pleased with the program that the consulting team is laid out. And but I appreciate your confidence. Thank you.
Any further comments from anyone? If not, then we'll go to the director's report. Do you have anything for us, Oliver?
I think that's it for now. And I do want to thank you for accommodating us for having our special meeting in 2 weeks. It's not like we don't have anything else to do, right? So I do appreciate that. There are a few carryover items from tonight's agenda, but we were going over it this morning, and we've got a number of projects that we're moving forward. And so I appreciate your accommodations to have these special meetings and carve out an extra week or extra day out of your month for us. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Oliver. And I think I probably speak on behalf of most of the commissioners. We're really happy to see these projects coming into our city and the progress they're making in the city, and it's looking good. So we're happy to see the projects.
Good.
I just wanted to thank, I think he might have already left, but Alex, he's always here at our meetings. Mr. Huntley, thank you for showing up at our meeting today. And I think that's it on my behalf. If anyone else has any other comments. If not, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the Planning Commission meeting until our next special scheduled meeting for Tuesday, September 22nd at 6 p.m.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. I think we'll just do a voice vote. So all in favor, I guess?
Aye.
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 Then the meeting is adjourned, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks' time.
There you go.
Everyone.